Well, if you can believe it, human trafficking is still a thing, even today in 2024. In fact, in some parts of the world, it's increasing. Well, right now, we're going to go over to our dear friend, Cheryl Weber, who's in Cambodia. Cheryl, it's so good to see you, my friend. How you doing over there?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you too. It's been a heartbreaking and beautiful time all combined.
Well, since the last time you were there, like what kind of differences are you seeing in that climate, in that atmosphere in terms of trafficking?
It's so interesting because when I was here 14 years ago, the problem in Cambodia was child sex trafficking,
Mm.
and children were being openly exploited. You could even see pedophiles taking them to dinner, and it really broke our hearts. But a bunch of NGOs, a bunch of Christians, a bunch of really passionate people, and the Cambodian government all got together, and they have reduced that so significantly now. And the traffickers are like any criminals. They want to do something that they're not going to get in serious trouble for, that's a little bit easier to get away with, switch their tactics. And here in Cambodia, more like 13 to 16 to 18-year-old girls are being exploited within the country. But a bigger part of trafficking now is people being trafficked out of the country. So if you're living in poverty, maybe you live in a village where I was spending the day today, and the trafficker says, listen, I can get you an amazing job in Thailand or in China, and you're going to be able to send money home to your family, and you're going to be so well off. And so they take this risk and they go to accept the job, but then they're trafficked, their passports taken from them, and they're imprisoned. Many people are forced into forced marriage. It could be forced labor. Abuse is part of it. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking to a young woman who was promised a job in China and was forced into marriage with a man there who abused her and his family. You know, when they had the one child policy in China, a lot of men were preferred, and now you have millions, like hundreds of millions of men without women to marry. And so forced marriage is a thing, labor trafficking is a thing, and these people are literally modern day slaves. And tomorrow I'm going to be talking to a young girl that happened to her twice with forced marriage. When she was able to escape the first one, her trafficker re-trafficked her into another abusive marriage. So these interviews are so sensitive. We hide their identity. We change their name. We want them to have a chance at a real life once they're rescued.
I'm sure. And, I know that the stories you're hearing, they're heartbreaking, and some of them are so difficult that we can't even share them or talk about them. But from what you've seen, do you believe that recovery or restoration, is that possible, Cheryl, for these women?
I've interviewed so many women who've been trafficked, and then our partner organization here, RatMac International, the counselors that I meet, the people who are working are so passionate, and they believe intrinsically as a person of Christian faith that these women, these men are made in the image of God, that they have incredible value, incredible worth. As our partner Brian McConaughey says, they are to die for, that Jesus died for them. They're so valuable. And when they get that, I talked to a woman just a couple of days ago who was like, my counselor told me to face the past, to accept it, and then move forward, and that I am loved by God. And she had so much confidence in her life. Like, she would have no problem talking about it. She was super confident, and you could just see the transformation. She's now married. She has a great job. She has kids. It's a whole new world. And so, yes, it's possible, and especially by the power of God. That's what it takes.
Amen. I love that answer. That's the right answer. Restoration is possible. People can pray and people can look online and see what's going on, but I want to get practical for a second. How can people here at Crossroads respond and partner with what we're doing in places like Cambodia? Where can they go and how can they give?
Yeah, no, thanks for that opening. Absolutely. We definitely want people to give. And just before I give you that coordinate, I just want to tell you about Rosath, who I met today. He is a little person who's suffered discrimination his whole life. And, our partner's been telling people about trafficking, trying to warn them, this is what they do, this is what they say. But if someone's desperate, they're still going to go. So they decided to economically empower them, like give them a chance at a business. So Rosath, they said they're going to help him and with a chicken business. And when they came back to train him, he already built a coop because nobody would hire this guy. He was discriminated forever. He was so motivated. His chicken business has been amazing. He bought a moto to be able to continue his business. He built himself a bathroom, and he is thriving today. And he has so much confidence, and he says, don't give up. And so that's my message. When you see the world of human trafficking. It's so dark. It can be so discouraging, but don't give up, because God is at work and God's people are at work. And if you want to join and help us with that, please give us a call, 1-800-265-3100. You can go online at crossroads.ca/cares. I am here. I see the difference it's making, and I'm telling you, it is working.
Amen. Well, Cheryl, we are so thankful for your heart for these kinds of ministries and people who are struggling. We love you, and make sure you get back here, because I miss hosting with you, okay?
Hopefully we can do it together soon. Thanks, Joe.
Okay, thank you, Cheryl.